Step 1 on how to draw an eye with coffee. This first step is the most crucial step because it determines whether the eye is going to be correctly placed or whether the eye is going to be correctly drawn. So first, you're going to start out with the sketch, which you probably want a reference photo for. And this sketch really just helps you figure out the anatomy of the eye and just so you can put in like the darker values later on. After you finish step 1 of sketching out the eye, you should prepare your coffee paint, which really is just making a cup of coffee. And to get the darker and lighter values, you add more coffee or add more water. Once you're finished with preparing the coffee paint, you want to begin mapping out where you want to put the dark values and the light values by looking at the picture and seeing where the most dark points are and where the lightest points are. For this step, I started with mapping out the lightest color and just putting that down, and then slowly layering darker and darker values until you get the result you want. A quick note for this step is the darkest points of the eye are supposed to be the pupil and the iris and the creases of the eye. And the lightest points should be probably the white part of your eye. After finishing the darkest and lightest points of the eye, you should begin to start the eyelashes, which are honestly probably the most crucial part because the eye really looks naked without them. And when you get those in, it really makes the eye pop. A quick note for the eyelashes is that the top eyelashes are probably going to be more dense than the bottom ones, and the bottom ones are going to be more spaced apart and shorter. Once you finish the eyelashes, you want to add in your highlights, which I used a highlighter pen, which works pretty well, but if you don't really think you need highlights, you don't have to do this step. Once you're happy with your coffee painting, your last step is to sign and date it, and that is how you draw a coffee eye.